Let us discuss about the topical antifungal drugs. The antifungal drugs, they are useful topically in the superficial fungal infections which are limited to the stratum corneum, squamous mucosa and the cornea. The examples of the superficial fungal infections are the dermatophytosis, this is the ringworm infections, candidiasis, superficial candidiasis, tinea versicolor, tinea nigra and the fungal keratitis or the fungal infections of the cornea. The topical application is mostly not useful when a large surface areas involvement is there, like in cases of the onychomycosis, tinea capitis, and the subcutaneous mycosis like the sporotrichosis and chromomycosis. Now, effectiveness of the topical application depends on the type of the lesion, site of the lesion, and the mechanism of action. Also, it depends on the hydrophobicity, viscosity, acidity of the formulation. And also, the effectiveness of topical application also depends upon its penetration into the keratinous or the hyperkeratinous tissues. The formulations for the topical therapy, different formulations are available like creams, ointment, gel, powder, solutions, oral troche, vaginal tablets, and pessaries. The topical agents, they can be also used interchangeably. Like in cases of the dry lesions, we can use the ointments or cream. So these are the liquid preparations used in the dry lesions, so topically. And in cases of the wet lesions, we are using the solid preparations like the powder. So wet lesions which are involving the groin. Now, drugs which are used in the superficial mycosis, we are having two classes of the drug. We are giving the treatment by the topical agents, as well as we can also give the systemic therapy by giving the oral preparations. So, in cases of the superficial mycosis, topical agents, which are mostly used, as we can see in the ringworm infections, in the dermatophytosis, we are using either azole as a topical therapy, or we are using the terbinafine. So terbinafine is very useful for the ringworm infections. And also, if we see the oral therapy, we may give the terbinafine and the different azoles like the itraconazole, and also griseofulvin is also useful in the superficial mycosis, but it is given orally. So we are concerned with the topical agents. So in topical agents, azoles are preferred and terbinafine is preferred. And as far as the candidiasis is concerned, we have cutaneous candidiasis involving that is causing infection of the skin, and oropharyngeal candidiasis and vaginal candidiasis. So for the treatment of the cutaneous candidiasis, topically we can use the amphotericin, we can use nystatin, which is very useful topically, and azole can be used, as well as certain topical agent like cyclopirox. As far as oropharyngeal candidiasis is concerned, we can use the azole, nystatin is used, and amphotericin is also useful, as well as the fluconazole. And in cases of the vaginal candidiasis, azoles are used, as well as azoles like the miconazole. So these are used topically, as well as clotrimazole. So these are useful for the vaginal candidiasis. So we can see that for the oral candidiasis, these drugs are effective, like the azoles, like the fluconazole, itraconazole, and polyene like the amphotericin, and also the nystatin, as well as even ketoconazole is useful in the oral candidiasis. Whereas terbinafine, we can see that it is very useful in the dermatophytosis infection, but it is less effective against the cutaneous as well as the mucosal candidiasis. And if it is used, terbinafine, it is used for 2 to 4 weeks orally therapy, but it can be used as an alternative to the other very useful agents like the fluconazole, itraconazole, nystatin, which are more useful. So terbinafine is effective in the dermatophytosis, but it is less effective against the cutaneous and the mucosal candidiasis. So now we know about different antifungal agents. And there's a long list of these topical antifungal agents, but we can categorize them into two broad classes. So we can summarize them, and we can also remember these drugs. So two categories I have divided into. One category is the drugs which are used both systemically and topically. So these topical agents are there. And there is a second category which I'll discuss in the later part, and there only drugs which are used topically, that I will discuss, the list of the different drugs. So first we'll discuss drugs which are used both systemically and topically. So first we know very well that amphotericin B, among the polyenes, we know amphotericin B is a systemic drug, but it is very toxic also. And topically also, as 3% ear drops, it can be used for the otomycosis. And also we have the nystatin, which is a polyene, and it is used only topically because it is very toxic. So topically it is used only, and it is not used for the systemic use because it is very toxic. So it is available as different preparations like 1 lakh unit tablets for the monilial vaginitis, and as a suspension in glycerin, it is used for the oral thrush, and as an ointment and cream for the cutaneous and corneal, as well as the candidiasis. So in this, it is different conditions it is used. Then among the azoles, we know the imidazoles, like the ketoconazole is there. So azoles, they are used topically, and absorption is negligible, and the adverse effects are also rare. We know that these imidazoles are very more toxic than the triazoles. So, but the topical preparations, they are more safe because absorption is very negligible and adverse effects are also not common. So because of that, so we have ketoconazole, which is a systemic drug, but then again, it is used topically as 2% cream, gels, shampoos, and it is also available as powder. So it is used for the different condition like the tinea versicolor. So this is one drug which is useful against the pityriasis versicolor, and against seborrheic dermatitis. It is also useful for the mucocutaneous and oral, esophageal, and vulvovaginal candidiasis, and it is concentrated in the stratum corneum. So these are different uses of the ketoconazole. Then coming to the clotrimazole, it is available in different preparation, 1% lotion, cream, powder, 1% ear drop with 2% lidocaine, and it is useful for the otomycosis also. And it is 100 milligram vaginal tablet is used for the vaginal candidiasis. And for the oropharyngeal candidiasis, the clotrimazole, we know that the oral troche is available, and this is sucked in, and it has a pleasant taste sensation as compared to the, and it is a good alternative to the nystatin. So it is also useful for the vaginal candidiasis. Then iconazole, this is another topical imidazole. So we know clotrimazole, iconazole, miconazole, and oxyconazole. These are the topical imidazoles, and they are having different uses. The oxyconazole, which is a newer topical imidazole, and this has a similar use like clotrimazole. And miconazole, it is highly efficacious, and it is used as a 2% gel, powder, solution, 2% vaginal gel, ointments. Different preparations are available, as well as 1% ear drops are also available. 100 milligram vaginal ovules are available. So it is used in otomycosis and vaginal candidiasis, as well as it is also used in the tinea infections as well as pityriasis versicolor. So both ketoconazole is used in pityriasis versicolor, as well as miconazole is also useful in the pityriasis versicolor. Then oxyconazole is 1% oxyconazole along with benzoic acid 0.25% cream and lotions. They are useful in the tinea infection as well as in the vaginal infections. So these are the different imidazoles, topical imidazoles, which are used for different conditions like the dermatophytosis, candidiasis. And then we can see certain recent imidazoles have been introduced, like sertaconazole, which if you remember the mechanism of action, I've discussed very elaborately in the part 1 of the video. And sertaconazole 2 to 5% cream, lotion, shampoo, powders, gels are available, as well as sertaconazole vaginal tablets are available for treating the candida vulvovaginitis. Then another recent addition is the lureconazole. Lureconazole is available as 1% cream, and this is very useful in the fungal infection of the skin. And it is also very useful in Tinea pedis, that is athlete's foot, and Tinea cruris and Tinea corporis. Then another addition in the recent list of the imidazoles, there is ibuproconazole. And ibuproconazole is available as 1 to 2% cream, lotions, and powder. It is useful for dermatophytosis, candidiasis, as well as the pityriasis versicolor. And this is one drug which was approved in Spain in 2015. So then among the drugs which are used both systemically and topically, there are the list among, we have seen the polyenes, we have seen azoles, that is imidazoles, and we come to the second class of these azoles, that is the triazoles, like fluconazole and itraconazole. We know very well that these drugs are systemically used, as well as certain preparations are available which are used topically. So fluconazole 0.3% eye drops is very useful for the fungal keratitis, for treating the eye infections, and itraconazole also 1% cream is available. Then among the triazole, the only triazole which is used topically is terconazole. Terconazole is a newer drug which is available as cream ovule, and it is useful for the vaginitis. And allylamines, among the allylamines, we have terbinafine. As you know, terbinafine is used orally, systemically, and here we are using it as a topical agent, as a 1% topical cream, and it is also available as gel, lotion, solution, and powder, and it is useful for the localized Tinea pedis, cruris, and Tinea corporis, as well as for the pityriasis versicolor. And it is a useful agent for the topical management of the this in onychomycosis. So we can summarize these topical imidazoles and triazoles, as we know already that these topical agents, they are used for the superficial mycosis, and so mainly they are used for the ringworm, that is the dermatophytosis, for the mucocutaneous candidiasis, and for the Tinea versicolor or the pityriasis versicolor. So these imidazoles, like we see the ketoconazole, clotrimazole, butoconazole, tiaconazole, meconazole, iconazole, sulconazole, oxyconazole, sertaconazole, and isoconazole and penticonazole. So ketoconazole, clotrimazole, iconazole, meconazole, and oxyconazole, we have already discussed in detail in the part 3 of the videos. And now coming to butoconazole, sulconazole, and oxyconazole, these are the topical imidazoles, and they have similar use like the clotrimazole. As far as tiaconazole is concerned, tiaconazole is available as an ointment, which is used as a single application for the Candida vulvovaginitis. As well as sertaconazole also, 500 milligram vaginal tablets are available, which are used as a single application for the Candida vulvovaginitis. And remaining isoconazole and penticonazole, they are used mainly for the vaginal candidiasis. Then coming to terconazole, this is the only topical triazole which is available as a cream or ovule for the vaginal use. Now we can see the use of these different imidazoles and triazoles. We can summarize it. They are used for the oral infection, like the oral candidiasis. So we have the example of clotrimazole 10 milligram, which is to be sucked. So it is used as an oral troche, and it has to be sucked. And then for the skin infection, that is for the cutaneous infection caused by the tinea, that is Tinea corporis, Tinea cruris, Tinea pedis, or Tinea versicolor, that is the pityriasis versicolor, and candidiasis of the skin. So here we are having different cutaneous formulations, and this cutaneous formulations, they should not be used for the other purpose, like they should not be used for oral, vaginal application. So then coming to the vaginal infection, the different formulations are available like creams, suppositories, pessaries, and tablets, which are used for the vaginal application. And like clotrimazole, for example, it is available as a pessary, 100 milligram daily, it is used for 6 days, or you can use 200 milligram daily for 3 days, or there is also single 500 milligram pessary is available, which you can apply and it produces the equal effect. So it is administered high in the vagina at bedtime, and so that it can be retained for the better effect. And also we can see in automycosis and ocular infection also, we have different topical agents like fluconazole eye drops are available for the eye infections, and miconazole ear drops are available for the ear infections. Now we come to the drugs which are used only topically. So the list of drugs are there, and I have summarized it here so that it is easier to remember. So first is the thiocarbamate, like the tolnaptide and tolkiclate. It is these drugs, they can be also combined with salicylic acid, which is having the keratolytic action, and it is available as 1% cream and lotion, and it is used against the fungi which are causing the cutaneous infections like the Tinea cruris, Tinea corporis, and this tolnaptide has no activity against the candida. So this tolnaptide also, it is less effective if the skin is thick or hyperkeratinized, such as those areas like the nails, scalp, and foot. So it is not useful in the Tinea anguem, Tinea capitis, and the Tinea pedis, where the skin is thick and it is hyperkeratinized. So many times it can be combined with salicylic acid because of its keratolytic action. That is having the fungicidal action, and the mechanism of action, it inhibits the squalene epoxidase. So it has somewhat action like the terbinafine, but it is inferior to the imidazole and it causes little irritation. Then coming to cyclopyroxolamine, which is a hydroxypyridone. The cyclopyroxolamine and brylopirox. These drugs also I have discussed the mechanism of action in the part 1 of the video. And these are broad spectrum antifungal agents. Cyclopyroxolamine is effective against candida, against dermatophytes, and against the, it is also effective against Malassezia furfur, which is responsible for causing the tinea versicolor. And it is available as the 1% nail lacquer or the nail polish and 1% vaginal cream. And it is also available as 10 milligram per gram cream for the dermal candidiasis. So 1% vaginal cream is useful in the vaginal candidiasis, and 1% nail lacquer is useful in the onychomycosis. And it is also useful in seborrheic dermatitis of the scalp, and as a 1% shampoo it is available. And this cyclopyroxolamine, this is a newer drug having broad spectrum fungicidal action, and it also has a high cure rate, and it interferes with the mitochondrial electron transport. This is a unique mechanism, and when it is applied on the skin, it does not get absorbed systemically. So it penetrates the skin and reaches the dermis, and no adverse effects are reported. Then coming to butanafine, which is available as a 1% cream, it belongs to the class benzylamine, and it is used for Tinea cruris, Tinea pedis, and corporis. So it is useful for the dermatophytosis. And butanafine, it has a similar mechanism of action and efficacy like the terbinafine, and it also has additional anti-inflammatory action. Then undeclinic acid, this is used along with, many times it is used with salicylic acid because of the keratolytic action of salicylic acid, and different preparations like zinc andecanoate, zinc naphthenate, mesulfan, methyl salicylate, terpenium. So these different preparations are available. It is used for Tinea pedis, for the nappy rash, and Tinea cruris. It has a fungistatic action. So we can see that apart from the use of clotrimazole, miconazole, terbinafine, and nystatin, which are systemically used, and these topical agents we are using them. So there are the other topical antifungal drugs like tolnaptide, cyclopyrox, butanafine, and naftifine. So different agents are available, and these are used topically. So topically they are useful for, mainly they are useful for the dermatophytosis and for the pityriasis versicolor. So these topical agents remaining is benzoic acid. We know benzoic acid, this is having weak antifungal action. Along with benzoic acid, we are many times combining the salicylic acid, which is having keratolytic action. And this popular Whitfield's ointment is there, and we use it. As well as there is another antifungal, topical antifungal agent, that is haloprogen, which is a halogenated phenolic ether, and it is active against the dermatophytes. So it's useful against Tinea pedis, corporis, and Tinea cruris, also the Tinea versicolor. And it has fungicidal action, and the dermal absorption of the haloprogen is very poor. So systemic toxicity is very low, but because it causes some amount of irritation and pruritus, so it is very less preferred. Then coming to naftifin, which is allolamine, just like the terbinafine. So this drug naftifin has a mechanism of action and efficacy. Mechanism of action and efficacy of naftifin is similar to the terbinafine because it is an allolamine and it is available as a 1 to 2% cream gel, useful in the Tinea cruris, corporis, and Tinea pedis. It has a broad spectrum and also action, additional anti-inflammatory action. Then morpholins like amorolfine, this we have seen that is the agent, it is belonging, amorolfine is belonging to the morpholin group of the antifungal agent, and it is used topically for the onychomycosis as a 0.25% nail lacquer, and it has fungicidal action and it has a similar mechanism of action like terbinafine. So to complete the list, the drugs which are used only topically, we have selenium sulfide and sodium thiosulfide. And this 20% solution is used for a therapy of 3 to 4 weeks and for the Tinea versicolor or the pityriasis versicolor. So among the other agents which are used for pityriasis versicolor, selenium sulfide is one of them, and it is also available as a 2.5% suspension, which is with a shampoo base. And this selenium sulfide is useful in Tinea versicolor, which is caused by the Malassezia furfur, and it is also as a shampoo base also it is available, 2.5% suspension. It is useful in the dandruff. Then potassium iodide, topically they are useful for the dermatophytes, especially for the cutaneous sporotrichosis. And queen iodochlor and quinol, these are basically they are orally used agents for the luminal, they are used as a luminal amebicide, also used in giardiasis and trichomoniasis. Orally they are used, but here topically they also are used because they have some antifungal action, and also they are useful in the bacterial infections of the skin. So they are active against candida as well as certain fungi and also certain bacteria. And oxaborols like tebaborol, these also I have discussed in the part 1 of the video. It's having a unique action. It inhibits the protein synthesis in the fungal cell, and as a 5% solution it is used for the used topically for the onychomycosis. And last but not the least, there are some topical preparation like soap is available, triclosan, and these have some antibacterial as well as certain antiviral activity. So to conclude, we can say that dermatophytes, these are common fungal infections occurring worldwide, as well as it is widespread especially among the developing countries. And various studies have shown that there is a rising trend, and recently in the last decade, there is a rising trend of these infections. And because of the growing epidemic of these recurrent as well as chronic dermatophytosis, it is many times annoying. And also the development of resistance among the commonly used antifungal agents, both the oral agents as well as topical agents, this is also increasing at an alarming rate. So significantly, there is a development of the resistance. And because of the increased resistance, this is also leading to a state of increased anxiety among the physicians, and also increased distress among the patients who are having to face this problem. So socially, economically, as well as emotionally and financially, they are affected. So the newer formulations of the existing drug classes, and as well as few newer drug classes. So the existing drug classes are there. We are trying to get some new formulations so that they will be effective for the patient, or also few newer drug classes are being developed to tackle this menace. So other forms of local therapies in the form of lasers, photodynamic therapy, they are also being developed, but they are still in development stage. And but the cost of these therapies is still an issue.